Live stream has started. Sergeants, can you start your recordings?
PC started.
Cloud is started.
Backup is rolling.
Sergeant Martinez, can you give us the opening, please?
Good morning and welcome to today's remote New York City Council hearing of the Committee on Rules, Privileges, and Elections. At this time, would all panelists please turn on their video? To minimize disruption, please silence your electronic devices. And if you wish to submit testimony, you may do so via email at testimony@council.nyc.gov. Once again, that is testimony@council.nyc.gov. Thank you for your cooperation. We are ready to begin.
Thank you. Good morning and welcome to the Committee on Rules, Privileges, and Elections. My name is Karen Koslowitz and I am chair of this committee. Before we begin this hearing, I would like to introduce the council members of this committee who have joined us today. Minority Leader Stephen Matteo, Council Member Adrian Adams, Council Member Margaret Chin, Council Member Keith Powers, Council Member Deborah Rose, Council Member Paul Vallone. Is Mark Traeger with us? I don't see. Sorry, that was my house phone. Mark Traeger join us, or he's not? I guess not. Okay. And we'll be joined by the speaker. I would also like to acknowledge Rules Committee Counsel Lance Politi and the staff members of the Council's Investigative Unit, Chuck Davis, Chief Compliance Officer, and investigators Andre Johnson Brown, Alicia Vessel, Desiree Robinson, and Ramses Booten. Today, the Rules Committee will consider the nomination of Matthew Schneid for appointment to the Environmental Control Board. If the council gives its advice and consent, Mr. Schneid, a Manhattan resident, will fill a vacancy on the Environmental Control Board as a person with a background and experience in real estate. He will complete the remainder of a four-year term that expires on November 24th, 2021. Within the New York City Office of Administrative Trials and Hearings, there is an Environmental Control Board that adjudicates notices of violation issued by various city agencies, including departments of environmental protection, police, sanitation, health, and mental hygiene, fire and buildings. ECB has the power to render decisions and orders and to impose civil penalties under law and may apply to a court of competent jurisdiction for enforcement of any decision, order, or subpoena that it issues. Among the provisions of law enforced by ECB are those relating to the cleanliness of city streets, the disposal of waste, the provision of a pure, wholesome, and adequate supply of water, the prevention of air, water, and noise pollution, the regulation of street peddling, and the city response to emergencies caused by releases or threatened releases of hazardous substances. ECB consists of the commissioners of the Department of Environmental Protection, Sanitation, Health, and Mental Hygiene, Buildings, Police, Fire, and the Chief Administrative Law Judge of Oath, as well as 6 persons appointed by the mayor with the advice and consent of the council. The Chief Administrative Judge of Oath serves as chair of ECB. Within its appropriation, ECB may appoint an executive director and such hearing officers, including non-salaried hearing officers and other employees as it finds necessary to properly perform its duties. Members other than agency commissioners may not be employed by the city. 5 of the 6 non-commissioned members must possess broad general background and experience, 1 in each of the following areas: air pollution control, water pollution control, noise pollution control, and real estate or business. The 6th non-commissioned member represents the general public. Members other than the agency commissioners are compensated and receive a $175.10 per diem when performing the work of ECB. Member terms are for 4 years. I want to welcome Mr. Schneid, and we're going to swear you in.
Morning, Mr. Schneid. Will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Mr. Schneid, do you have an opening statement?
I do.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much, Madam Chairwoman, members of the committee. Thank you for inviting me today and for considering my appointment for this important position. I've been a resident of the city for over 15 years and I'm honored once again to have the opportunity to make a public service contribution. I believe that the ECB has an important function in city life in assisting in the enforcement of regulations designed to ensure our city is a safe place to live and work. Emerging from this COVID-19 crisis, now more than ever, we have to be keen in making sure that those of us who live and work in the city are safe, but also understand the challenges, both to our safety and financially, that COVID-19 has wrought. I started my public service with the city as a member of Community Board 5 of Manhattan and as the board's representative to the Diamond District Business Improvement District. During my approximate 8 years on the community board, I greatly enjoyed my service to the public and saw the benefits of collaboration with the public and transparency with issues pending before the community board. It was partly through my experience on the community board that I decided to pursue a career as a lawyer and particularly focus on real estate. So I became fascinated by the real estate issues confronting the community board and wanted to learn more and spend my time on real estate issues professionally. For more than 10 years now, I've been a real estate lawyer, mostly representing owners, operators, investors, and developers in the buying, selling, investing, and financing of real estate, as well as representing both landlords and tenants in lease negotiations. Through my work, I've been involved in transactions of all sizes and greatly enjoy the ability of my clients to impact the city in a positive manner, whether through providing housing for our citizens, or working to open new retail businesses and restaurants, or serving as office space for our city's businesses. In my professional career, I've come to understand the opportunities and challenges of owning and maintaining real estate and hope to employ my experience in the service of the public. I hope my knowledge of complicated real estate transactions will provide insight to address a variety of matters that are presented before the Environmental Control Board. Now, as a potential board member of ECB, my goal will be to fairly address the issues presented before the ECB and oath so that all parties are treated fairly and with respect and have the ability to be properly heard. Thank you very much for my consideration of my nomination for the ECB. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, I'm going to open it to questions, and I have 2 questions.
Sure.
You were nominated to fill the position of someone with a broad general background and experience in the field of real estate, which you mentioned. How does your experience in real estate enhance the ECB and its ability to fulfill its mission?
Sure. As I mentioned, for over 10 years, I've been a real estate lawyer representing all parties in real estate in New York City. And the ECB on a regular basis has oversight into issues related to real estate and adjudicating the matters. So I think it's important that someone with my background who works with real estate owners and operators, landlords and tenants, is on the board and has insight to provide guidance when that guidance is required. However, for myself, I think I'm bringing impartiality and fairness to these proceedings that I hope to bring.
Okay, and do you have any experience with other areas over which ECB has jurisdiction, such as air and water pollution, noise pollution, fire safety, street cleanliness, hazardous substances, street peddling, use of parks, property, and landmarks in historic areas?
Sure. Yeah, a lot of different of those areas are implicated through my work as a real estate lawyer. Just for example, obviously many of the buildings in the city are landmarked. So if that's an issue for a building we're buying or selling or leasing or redesigning, that would be implicated. When you buy or sell a building or lease a building, you want to make sure there's fire safety protocols are in place. So all these different items interact, with real estate and with my involvement. Separately, on a volunteer basis, when I was on the community board, we also dealt with a lot of issues. I thought that was a fascinating experience. I really enjoyed it. And it's one of the reasons that, as I mentioned earlier, propelled me to go to law school and work in real estate. So I have some of that experience as well.
Okay, thank you. And I see we've been joined by Councilmember Mark Traeger. I'm going to open the floor to anyone of my colleagues who have any questions. Seeing none?
Councilmember Powers has a question.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Okay.
Thank you, Councilmember Kozowitz and Mr. Scheid. Nice to meet you. I am always supportive of people from Community Board 5 and the Diamond District bid. You know, a great council member. I like to say so myself. One quick question, which is, I think this is on maybe your questionnaire as well, but the EC, there was a report from the Department of Investigations a few months ago about the ECB having issues when it's coming to collecting actual and resolving fines and issues. I think it totaled about $1 billion of fines that had been uncollected due to poor effort or poor management or poor ability or errors to that. Have you taken a look at that issue at all and wonder if you have any ideas of how to fix that?
Yeah, I spoke with the staff of the ECB about this matter. Yeah, I think everyone agrees it's an important issue that once we have an adjudication that the fines are collected. I think from an enforcement perspective, it's really ECB's role to have the adjudication, but then they pass over the enforcement to other agencies. So I think from that perspective, those questions are probably best handled by those agencies that do the enforcement. But I certainly agree if there's more efficient ways to collect the money, that's a worthy goal, and to have an adjudication to issue a violation or a fine and not collected is certainly not ideal.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. I'll open the floor now to the public. If anybody has any questions. Seeing
Councilmember
none.
Kozowitz, yeah, I don't believe any members of the public have joined.
Okay. And unless any members have further questions or comments, I will now call upon the clerk to take the vote regarding this candidate.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is it's May 27, 2021. This is the Committee on Rules, Privileges, and Elections, a roll call vote on M310. Chair Kozlowitz.
I vote aye.
Chin.
I vote aye.
Rose.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Traeger.
Aye.
Valone.
Welcome aboard, and aye.
Adams.
Congratulations, Mr. Schneid. I vote aye.
Powers.
I vote aye.
Matteo.
Yes.
Speaker Johnson. Madam Chair, it doesn't appear that Speaker Johnson is with us just yet.
He will be joining us. We're going to hold the meeting open.
Thank you. As of now, the vote on M310 is 8 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 0 abstentions, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. And as I said, we're going to hold this meeting open.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This is a real honor and privilege for me.
Speaker Johnson's on the floor.
Okay. Speaker Johnson, your vote?
I vote aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. The revised vote is 9 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 0 abstentions on M310.
Okay, Rules Committee is now closed.